What's going on, fam? Angus Beef here. Thanks so much for stopping by to click on this video. Really appreciate it. And I want to talk to you guys on something that I see as a common flaw in a lot of people, and that is that they are so shit.
Call the fire department. This one's out of control. Poop again. He called the shit poop.
And basically, like, pursuing something with the right expectations. So in other words, for a lot of people, right, they struggle with the ability to be able to scale their result expectations in line with basically realistic commitments. So what I mean by that is that, let's say for example, you're someone who like is low-key all over the shop with your training. So in other words, like, you might have a program that is a 5-day training split, right, which is decent, yeah. But then when it comes to your week to week, some days you're at the gym twice a week. So some weeks you're at the gym twice a week, some weeks you're there 3, some weeks you're there 4. The odd occasion you're there for all 5, but it's a bit all over the shop. And then let's say for example, you're like, fuck yeah, I track my calories and macros, I'm a boss. And you were hitting basically all my fitness power, and you're plugging in your food choices, and you know, you're only really doing it when you feel like it, right? Or you might be tracking every day, but you only track the food that you've made yourself, and then you don't bother with anything else that's made by someone else, right? So obviously in that sort of case, like, yeah, your input is decent, right? But there's quite a lot of gray area, and therefore if you're basically expecting these insane results with some fairly, you know, just decent input, right? You're kidding yourself if you think that you are going to get just amazing results, right? And this is why if you think about like people that say, for example, compete, right? They are on point with absolutely everything in terms of just making sure that there is no gray area whatsoever, so that way they can manipulate all variables when it comes to controlling their progress, right? So what you need to kind of be on point with is just like scale your expectations in relation to what you can realistically like input, is what I'm trying to say, yeah? So if you know that your input is only at best going to be decent, then at best expect decent results and be okay with that. And then just seek ways to basically improve at a pace that you can handle. And this is where coaching can come into play really good, because you can get your coach to make sure that what they're getting you to do is catering for all the stuff you have got going on, and therefore you're not basically aligning yourself to stuff that's going to be too restrictive or too hard, and realistically something that you can't actually stick to, yeah? Because that's the thing, like I find for a lot of people, they're just so out of whack when it comes to this, and this is why they end up getting disheartened, and then they end up just bailing and jumping ship on something too early without giving it adequate enough time to be able to truly see if it was a appropriate tool or an appropriate thing for themselves, you know what I mean? And then naturally, if you're someone who is basically dialing in on everything properly, and you know that there's no gray area, but you're not seeing the results that you need, well then it's just a means of, well, yeah, like go to what the data is showing you. Like I typically, in terms of clients, like I find that a lot of people can get too invested in the day-to-day in terms of weight fluctuations or that sort of thing, but then they lose, so they can like get too invested into that rather than, say for example, you know, really only giving a fuck about what the week to week shows us and comparing it for the month data as a whole, and then seeing how the person's trending. Like, you see what I mean? So if you find that you're someone who gets too invested in the stuff that doesn't matter, or who basically falls into that category where you know that your input isn't like so solid, but yet you're expecting picture perfect results, it might be time to do some self-reflection in terms of really looking at what you're doing, and then basically, well, what level of results you should be expecting, so that you stop getting so disheartened. Okay, so yeah, do me a favor, if you found this video valuable, give it a love, share it with someone who you think could benefit from it. If you want to keep the conversation going and see if and how I can help you to yeah, basically dial in on this stuff that we've expressed today, drop into my DMs, get in touch, would love to help you out. And yeah, see you next time on the interwebs. Peace out.